Hey everyone, welcome back. September 2nd, 2019, and today's top story through most mainstream media outlets is that there's been a fire off the coast of California on a boat called the Conception, a dive boat just off of Santa Cruz Island. In this video, we're going to discuss the language of numerology, primarily the language of Gematria, or the practice of coding numbers into words. We're also going to look at dates on the calendars, date durations, date numerologies, and see how this is some sort of numeric ritual. And it appears as if certainly this fire was no mistake, as pretty much all fires in the mainstream media truly are. So let's get into this a little bit. Now, down below in the description of this video, one of the links I put in all my videos is how this language of English appears to have been constructed by the mathematics of the circle. And one of our clues to this is the phrase 22 divided by 7, which is the smallest equation on a calculator that gives you the digits 3.14, the first three digits of pi. And this holds true in the language of Gematria, which is geometry within language. If you write out 22 divided by 7 and assign a number to each letter relative to its position in the alphabet, you get a sum of 314. So, of course, ever since I made that video, even before that, we've been looking at how the mathematics and the numerology of the circle gets a tribute in all these major news stories. Certainly not all of them, but on dates where the numerology lines up well, we tend to see this, and we'll explain how this goes. For starters, think about today's date, the 2nd of September. Internationally, this date is written 2/9. In reduction gematria, or Pythagorean, where each double-digit number is reduced to a single digit, the word fire equals 29. Today's date, 9 plus 2 plus 20 plus 19, has what I call primary numerology of 50. Now, in the reverse alphabetic order, when reduced, boat fire equals 50. We will look at all of the rest of these numbers in a little bit. And this is a story involving the United States Coast Guard. USCG in ordinal, when abbreviated, summing to 50. Also in the alphabetic order, the word circle has a numeric value of 50. And not only does the word circle line up with the date numerology for September 2nd, but this language of Gematria traces back to the ancient Hebrew and Greek languages. And on my website, I do make Greek isopsophy available. And when you translate the word for circle into the Greek language, notice how we get a numeric value there of 92. And of course, today's date, September 2nd, written 9/2. So as we're going to see, this ritual is heavily related to the numerology of the circle. In one of the large number ciphers I teach called English Extended, this constructed more closely to the ancient Gematria charts, but uses the current 26-letter alphabet. The word circle sums to 140. The phrase boat fire sums to 140 in the reverse alphabetic order. And when we use capital letters, something called Francis Bacon Gematria, this is where small letters appear first, 1 through 26, followed by the capital letters. And in this method, conception, with the capital C as it's certainly listed on the boat, equals 140. Now you may have noticed the other large number cipher I showed on the screen earlier was Jewish Gematria. This is also called Latin Gematria, as it's based in the Latin alphabetic order, with more modern English characters placed at the end. Now, in this method, the word circle, well, before we get to that, I do want to point out how conception equals 360. Of course, the number of degrees in a circle. When you write out 360, you get an ordinal value of 227. When I opened the video up, we talked about how 22 divided by 7 gives you the first 3 digits of pi. Notice how in reduction, this also sums to 92, just like today's date, 9/2, like the Greek isopsephy value of circle. Also, the 88 in reverse makes a lot of sense, 4 circles in that number. But not only does conception equal 360 in Jewish gematria, but in our other capital letter cipher, which instead... Oh, wrong one. This one instead mixes in capital letters. Some call this the classroom cipher, capital A, capital B, small b, and so on. Conception has a value there of 227. So all sorts of relationships to the circle through these occulted languages, these ciphers of gematria. Now, in Jewish gematria, the word circle equals 120. September 2nd is the date that leaves 120 days on the Gregorian calendar. Furthermore, the word circles equals 120 in reverse. Also note the 33. This is off of Santa Cruz Island. Santa Cruz, 33. Dive boat, also 33. And this dive boat named Conception equals 156 in reverse, which is the ordinal value of 33. And when you look at the number 33, we're talking about a number of ritual human sacrifice. See this 895 in Jewish. Ritual human sacrifice 895. The code of letters and numbers comes from the Bible. Remember the story of Judas betraying Jesus, leading to his sacrifice. Notice how the phrase numerous fatalities, which they put in quotes, anytime they quote a phrase in the headlines in a news article, there's going to be relevant gematria. And here we see that it lines up nicely with the boat Conception. But here's where the riddle really comes together and becomes complete. Now, as I cover in almost all of my videos, when there's a major event like this, you always want to look at the numerology of the governor of the state in which it occurred, because it appears as if there's always a riddle there. And those who make the argument that all of this numerology is organic fail to come up with a reason that these events are so neatly aligned with the governor of the state. Not just the people involved or the location at which it occurred, but a man who is residing over imaginary lines in a city far away. Anyway, what I want to point out about conception is how we have an ordinal value of 114 and 51 in reduction. This is the same as the word governor, 114 and 51. Gavin Newsom, born in October of 1967, this means he's currently 51 years old. His name in reduction equals 52. And we'll see how this measures up to his upcoming 52nd birthday in October next month. By the way, the name of the company who owned this boat is called Truth Aquatics, which equals 52 in reduction. Now, if you measure from the date of this fire to the date of Gavin Newsom's 52nd birthday, you find it's 38 days earlier. In the alphabetic order, the word boat equals 38. In the same method, the word fire equals 38. This is all going down on September 2nd, which equals 163 in the same cipher, and that's the 38th prime number. Notice how boat fire also has overlap with 2nd of September, 76. Also, something that's interesting is that Gavin Newsom is the 40th governor of California. And look at the phrase boat fire equals 40, just like the word circle in the reverse method. We mentioned how this boat was owned by Truth Aquatics. And notice how Truth Aquatics equals 173, the 40th prime number. But these numbers are all relevant for a reason. This 52, here we're talking about Gematria. And notice how even in these large number ciphers, Jewish Gematria, English extended, the word Gematria sums to the same as the circle. And here yet is another Gematria riddle about the circle. This is no mistake. This is certainly what these people in high positions of power are doing. Now notice the 52 in the circle, which is also found in Gematria. As for the 38, Gematria equals 38, and Gematria is a component of the study of the Kabbalah. Kabbalah also has these numbers, 38, 52, and 178. And the Kabbalah comes from the understanding that God created the world by merging the letter and the number. And this is why the Bible starts out with this concept. And those who study this language of Gematria understand that we ourselves, as inhabitants of this creation, are ourselves creating our reality with our spoken word as well. Now, another thing that's interesting, here we're talking about 34 people missing. Now, this is different than what they were reporting earlier. You see, like, about 7 or 8 hours ago, they were reporting that 34 people were on board, and 5 have been rescued. But this has since changed. Now it says 34 people are missing, but either way, the number 34 was slipped in there twice. Gavin Newsom assumed office on January 7th, 2019, meaning that this fire occurs exactly 34 weeks later. 34, a number of murder. Now, earlier we looked at his birthday, October 10th of 1967. And look how neatly this all lines up. 51 years, 10 months and 23 days. Here we're talking about the conception, which equals 51, off of the coast of Santa Cruz, which equals 123. And remember, 51 and 123, these are the numbers found in the Gematria of conspiracy. 123 and 51. And, think about it. Conspiracy, conception, not only do they have the same Gematria, but they both have the word con in the title. So, are we looking at a random fire on a boat? Certainly not. There's a deep riddle here. And most certainly there's intent behind this. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this video. Thanks to everybody who jumped in and watched this live. Clear as day what they're doing in the mainstream media. And they're just giving us more things to think about. More distractions from the important things. And ultimately, more death and sacrifice. Assuming stories like this are real, and certainly some of them are, at least. So, with that, please like, share, and subscribe. Share these videos with anyone you think may have an open mind, as the world is waking up to these charades, and it's time that we continue to spread this knowledge now that it's out there. Thanks again for joining. Peace, love, and God bless. See ya!